Right, okay, hey guys. So welcome to episode. Is it 4?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Maybe 4, or still to be decided.
This is tragic.
4 episodes, and we still don't know what it's called.
Well, you say we. This is your show. It's
Well,
not my. It's not my responsibility.
It is kind of, isn't it? It's us. I mean, be
Who's
you, be better, nameless, finally, hustle. It'll be one of these, and we will get there eventually.
Is this show on my YouTube or your YouTube?
Well, if you did,
is it on my YouTube or your? Whose YouTube is it on now?
If you did what you were supposed to do and get it on yours as well and distribute it, then.
Why? So it's on your YouTube.
It's episode 4. We've not decided what it is just yet.
But it's John's responsibility to decide that.
We're gonna start. Right. Okay. So.
I'm a little bit. I don't know what's going on today.
CK posted a picture sometime last week, or over the weekend anyway, and the picture was this: a cassette. Now I know some people watching this will think, "What the hell's that?" But this is what we used to listen to music on. These wonderful things. In fact, you remember we used to be able to put, if it unravelled, you used to put his pencil in it.
Yeah. when it got tangled.
When it got tangled, you take it back out, feed it.
Oh, I yearn for those days.
I bet there's YouTube videos showing you how to do that. So Google it next. How to
stick a pen.
How to rethread a tape deck. So CK posted this.
I posted a picture of that on Instagram last week, and Johnny texted me.
But the story behind it, firstly, though, is that this was one of the demo tapes that CK used to send out. So he posted this saying he found one of his old demo tapes he used to send out to radio stations when he was trying to get a gig. So I said to him, listen, when we get in the studio next and we do the next video, episode 4 of whatever it's called, bring it along.
I don't know why.
I have no idea why.
I don't know why. He just said bring it along.
Bring it along.
I didn't want to because I was scared of losing it. It means a lot to me, this bad boy.
There's a funny story, you see, what goes along with this, but it ties in beautifully in terms of what we're going to discuss.
Okay.
So the story is that CK had got a fantastic opportunity to be. Was it the host?
And you're going to actually tell this story?
I'm going to tell this story.
But why? Yeah. Why do you always do this every time?
Well, I'll tell you after. Stay tuned.
Sorry, before Johnny goes any further, every time we go out, whenever we go out and we meet I meet new people, that Johnny, he loves telling this story. It's like he loves embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing.
No, it's his favourite story on the planet. He tells it at every given opportunity.
It's a good story.
It's a good story for you to tell. It's not a good story for me to relive.
Okay, you relive it now.
No, I'm not going to tell the story.
Okay, right. So what happened is CK got an opportunity with, at the time it was called.
What at the time it was the biggest radio station in the north.
So the biggest radio station in the north, and its name was.
At the time it was Galaxy. Now it's Capital.
It's now Capital. It was Galaxy, and so he'd gone in there. They really clicked. They got on incredibly well.
Me and the station boss.
And the station boss, massively impressed. Gave him a job there and then on the spot.
No, it didn't.
But CK blew it.
I mean, if you're going to tell the story, at least something. Should I just tell it so that at least it's clear?
No. It's just so to get to the point, what had happened is the guy had turned on to CK and says, "Listen, I can tell with your enthusiasm and your energy, I can see how much this would mean to you working with us here on this station. I could tell that you'd really love it." And CK being CK, with his little waff of his hand, well, I love it, it'd be alright. Subsequently, I never heard from them again. Well, this is
Look at the relish.
Yeah,
Look, he loves telling this story.
I'd say he's getting embarrassed and going red, but
I'd be remiss to not point out before Jonathan goes any further.
That's just his hair.
That I'd be remiss. Yeah, this was about 12 years ago. This was when I was young, CK, and I was under the impression that it was good to play hot. It's basically what I'm saying. So anyone that's thinking this story happened last year, this story happened like 12 years ago when I was just starting out in radio.
Yeah, a long time ago.
But it still brings John joy.
The reason it brings joy is because it shows you that it's a typical example of how we get in our own way. And so for CK, who actually would have really relished and loved to work on Galaxy radio station, what happened for him is his ego stood up rather than being parked at the door, and his ego was a massive issue that stopped him from doing what he actually would have really loved to do. And this is the thing for a lot of us. We have this ego, what sits inside of us, that makes us think we deserve things, or we're better than others, or we should achieve more, we should have more, we should be somewhere different, we shouldn't be doing what we're doing now because it's beneath me. And this is the problem with an ego, is it really gets in your own way. And CK, and the reason why I like to tell the story so much, obviously it's fun.
To you.
To me. And no doubt to a lot of other people.
Nobody's enjoyed that story but you.
Well, your ego did.
My ego learned. I was young, I was excitable, I was hungry, I was ambitious, all good things.
Yeah.
But
So the whole idea really of CK bringing this in was to tell the story of what happened, how he lost an opportunity to work at a company that he would have absolutely loved to work at. But it's not all turned out bad, you know.
I got another radio job.
I got another radio job. Sure enough, it were
a small station.
No one's ever heard of it. All listen to it for that matter, but it just so happened that.
But I mean, listen. To be fair, I mean, everything Johnny just said, it's a true story, and I kind of now know why. This all seems a little bit disjointed, but I'm guessing, because I don't know, whenever I hear you talking to your clients that you coach and so on, that's the worst kind of ego, but there's a less, I don't know, there's a less horrific kind of ego that seems a little bit harmless, and that's the kind of ego when you don't want to push for that extra sale, perhaps.
Yeah.
You don't want to make that extra call, you don't want to ring them for the 4th time. But, you know, you think it's scared, but it's because of your ego. You're protecting your ego. You're protecting them against rejecting you. Protecting them against saying no. So that's a more harmless type of ego, but it's equally as destructive.
But you say it's harmless, but it clearly it's not. It's
That's
stopping,
what I mean.
It's stopping you from achieving the things that you wanted to achieve. It's stopping you from pushing forward. It's stopping you from asking for that extra deal. It's stopping you from doing that thing because you think it's a bit fearful or scares you, or, you know, what if. So there is no real goodness. There is no real value as such of letting your ego control you. You know, you've got to be the person who knows what you're going to get and how you're going to get it, but be the most humblest person in doing so.
Stay humble, hustle hard.
Stay humble, hustle hard. Say on the wristband. Actually, you probably can't see this, but I wear this wristband mainly as a reminder. So it says stay humble. You definitely can't see that, I'm sure, but it says stay humble, hustle hard. But there's a story behind this, because CK, just read that hustle hard.
You're asking me to read something small print?
Yeah.
What do you want me to read? Hustle hard?
Yeah.
It's not spelt right, I get that.
It's spelt incorrect. Mm-hmm. So the hustle is spelt with a double S rather than with a T.
Hussle.
Yeah. And so I wear this to remind me that, because I've got about 5,000.
Is that intentional, that spelling error?
No, it wasn't intentional at all.
So you just gave them the wrong copy?
The copy got
This is what happens. You don't put your copy through me. That's what happens.
And this is. I wear this to remind myself that things do need to be checked.
If you don't go to school, you're going to fail.
If you don't go to school, you're going to fail. I wear this to remind myself that things need to be checked before they send and before they push and the ships, because I've got about 5,000 of these upstairs.
So is this little story just to sell more wristbands?
So if you want a wristband, if you go to joncovey.com/wristband, you can get your own hustle hard one there. But no, it's not a plug for that. What the point I'm trying to get there is that what would have been my ego again there saying, "Oh, it'll be fine, just get on with it, just do it." If I'd have took that little bit of extra attention to detail first and get it spell checked, get it double checked, get some second eyes on it, then I wouldn't end up with 5,000 wristbands sat in a box in the office.
Fair play. I'll still not forgive you for telling that story about me, even though you've just given us. But
That's
anyway, I have an email, Jonathan.
Okay, shoot.
From, I don't know, which show was it when we were talking about...
With Candice?
No, with KT Tunstall.
She has replied, by the way.
Yes, Candice, thank you. She tweeted saying thank you for that.
Yeah, she put it on YouTube as well.
Did she really?
She put a comment on there as well.
Oh, I honestly didn't see that.
So Candice, I now know you're real. God bless you.
Good.
Anyway, so we talked about episode 3 was when we talked about KT.
Was that episode 3?
Episode 3.
Okay, so we discussed Scottish singer-songwriter extraordinaire KT Tunstall in the last episode, music-based. A couple of musicians in my network emailed about it, and I have a question.
Okay.
So Johnny's really good on mindset and maintaining positivity to get what you want. Now I've got a question from someone who wishes to remain nameless. So let's just call her.
So it's a her.
Whoops. Love the chat about KT. I have a question. How do you stay motivated, positive when relentless contacts bring little response and less experienced artists get further ahead? I think when she says relentless contacts, when they're obviously approaching people to kind of get them, whether it's management, whether it's an agent, whether it's a booking agent, whether it's... So how do you remain positive when endless contacts bring little... Because we were talking about being a freak. Do you remember in episode 2 we were talking about being a freak and being relentless?
Getting on there, doing it, killing it.
I think what she's saying is when you're doing that and it's still bringing no rewards.
Yeah. How do you stay... Yeah, how do you maintain your motivation and your attitude to drive forward?
Pretty much.
I think the thing what you've got to always remember is that every no brings you closer to a yes. And what you need to understand firstly is that you will always get far more people telling you no than telling you yes. And it's all mindset. It is all mindset. It's going out there understanding that you're going to get a lot of this. And the easiest way to keep motivated is to remind yourself why you're doing it. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. You know, if it weren't, everyone would be doing it. If it were easy, there'd be so many other people out there doing what you're wanting to do right now, doing what we want to do right now. So you've got to understand that you're going to get a lot of people telling you no before you even get close to this. But rather than using it against you, use it for you and tell yourself that I'm going to see these people regardless. I'm doing this anyway because it's not something that I'm going to do just for a short time. It's something that I'm going to do consistently over and over again. So I'm aware where I'm going, why I'm doing it, what I'm going to get, and I'm just going to keep on pushing to get there. So the more people telling me no is actually a good thing because it's going to pull me closer to a yes.
In the interest of remembering why you're doing it, I just made a note so I didn't forget. There's little things I can do to achieve why you're doing it. What's that? Is it mood? That thingy board? What's that thing you always do? Vision board.
Yeah,
Johnny, you always do. You're a massive fan of vision boards, aren't you?
Totally. Yeah, vision board is just you can do it anyway. I have a big canvas and some glue and some scissors and just cut out things that you want. So it could be things like cars, watches. It could be things like pens, MacBooks. You know, it could be hairstyles, clothes, homes, the kind of clothes that you want to wear, bracelets.
Your ideal place you want to play. You want to play the O2. Cut out a picture of the O2, stick it on there. You want to play Wembley Arena. Cut out Wembley Arena, stick it on there.
Absolutely.
Tell us why that works.
Well, it's the visualization. So it's getting yourself into that mindset where if you can see it and you can believe it, then you can achieve it. And it's like you've got to get yourself in that place. You've got to get yourself into that vibratory state so you can start to appreciate and attract the kind of things that you want. Because everything's just a vibration. Do you know, where I'm vibrating, he's vibrating, the water's vibrating.
I was shaking during that story.
You were shaking during the story, yeah, like a dog.
A rabid dog.
Well, I wouldn't say doing some particular business, but we'll leave it there. So you've got to get yourself in that vibratory rate, and the vision board is a fantastic way to help you do that. It's something that you can constantly look at, stare at, remember, helps you focus on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and pushing forward to get there.
One final point, which again, this is just something you and I just discussed randomly, and I thought right at the end of that, she says, how do you remain positive, optimistic and motivated when sometimes less experienced artists are getting further ahead? And for me, that's... Do you remember that swimmer thing, swimmer analogy? Yeah, totally. Tell them the swimmer analogy. You love it.
With Phelps. Yeah. So, winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. And that's exactly what it is. You know, people who are, less talented, was it?
Well, it wasn't so much less experienced.
Okay, people less experienced getting ahead. Do you know what? They've got a goal and they're just going at it harder than you are at the minute. That's the reason they're getting ahead. So, do you know, don't look at them and think, well, why are they getting ahead and I'm not? Look at what they're doing and duplicate it. Look at the activity that they're doing. Look at the hustle that they've got and duplicate it, and then go above that and do more than that. And, do you know, don't focus on what people are doing too much. Don't focus on what your goal is. Focus on what it is you're trying to achieve, and be a freak. Do you know, be obsessed, be unreasonable, be that person that will not stop until you get what you want. Do you know, you've got to keep on pushing. And if people get there before you, so what? Their destiny is different to yours. But as long as you remain true to what you want to do and what you want to achieve, then just keep on pushing, keep on driving there. People's going to get there before you, people's going to get there after you. Don't make a difference as long as you get there.
So, thank you for that email. And
the girl who's yet to be named.
Pretty much. Who I'm deciding to call Heather.
Heather. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that. And if anybody, pretty much just anything mindset related. Yeah, this was music related, but to be fair, that couldn't relate to any industry, any career,
Everyone
any ambition, any
faces
path.
the same issues. Everyone goes through the same mind block. You know, the ego, and it ties into this again. The ego is what's happening right here with Heather, is that ego is looking at everyone else thinking, well, why are they getting ahead? You know, they're less experienced than I am, or they might not be as good as me, or the music's doesn't sound. Personally, I don't think it sounds as good as my music does, but it's all you know, it's all subjective. And what you're always got to remember is that leave your ego at the door. You know, park it, drop it, dump it, forget about it. You don't need to pay attention to what these other people are doing. Just like CK didn't need to be a cocky, arrogant.
Are we still on this? Like we've moved on.
With his tape deck situation,
we've moved on.
Guys, be true to you. Be hard. Be relentless. Be pushy and persistent. That's just passion. Do you know? It's just passion. People confuse it with that. But keep on moving forward and do whatever it takes. We say this all the time. Do whatever it takes morally to get you where you want to go. Don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Just focus on what it is that you need to do. And there's two rules actually that you should probably live by. And this applies to me and to CK and to every single person out there. Two rules that you should always follow. The first one is, what you're doing at any moment in time taking you further towards the goal that you're wanting to do? Do you know, is what you're doing right here, right now, moving you towards the goal that you want to achieve, the end game?
I mean, this isn't really taking me anywhere.
Yeah, and the number two rule, the second rule is what you're doing contributing to making you some cake, to making you some money? Because that's what the game's about. You know, you've got to enjoy it, but you've got to get paid for it. Because there's no enjoyment being broke. Are you unravelling this, aren't you? So
I don't know why. I genuinely don't.
So basically, this is what they used to end up with. Sometimes they came out of your cassette player like this. Obviously, a lot worse than this and twisted. Now, what you could do is you could get your pen.
Right.
You used to be able to put a pen, usually with a pencil because it's ridged, and you get it in and you'd wind it back up, and it'd pull it back into shape. You've never lived if you've not done that.
I mean, I'd be curious to see I reckon if anybody else has an old tape of this ilk, tweet either Johnny or I. Genuinely, like if you've not got a tape, but you've got something equally as relic-like as this, just tweet one of us. It's going to make us laugh. I don't think
a picture.
I don't think. Yeah, that's what I mean. Tweet us whatever you've got that's more ancient than this. Is anything more Betamax?
8-track. 8-track. They used to have 8 tracks, didn't they?
So our Twitters are above our heads.
Yeah, so
Tweet us
up here. Yeah, so
if you've got anything as ancient as this. I'd love to see any cassettes.
Yeah, totally. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. Stick around for episode 5, which we're going to be talking some more ramblings. And we'll keep on trying to get a name because we're unsure. I think we're getting close. If you've got a suggestion with names, tweet us with that as well. That'll be cool. But as always, I'm Jon Covey, multi-award winning coach, trainer, sales master. This is
CK Goldiing, and I've almost done it.
Boom. Guys, stay humble, hustle hard.
Pleasure.